that a lot of journalists are well respected because they speak up and they speak out. Many journalists seem to compromise themselves by a willingness to go along with what people are saying. If a politician tells you the sky is blue, look out the window and have a good look yourself.
Is it blue?
So, I'm saying politicians, but it's not just politicians. You know, you and I had this discussion, I think, when we used to run the Marketing 2000 conferences, and we had a big discussion about it. It's not just public authorities that sometimes try to crush journalists' free spirit. Corporates do as well.
Private sector.
We've seen the private sector saying, "I'm not putting ads in your paper if you run that story." Well, that's appalling. That's an absolute travesty of free speech and can't be allowed. And I think one of the problems that a lot of journalists today face, particularly younger people, is they think that to compromise and to not tell the whole truth is just the way it's done. And the few people who fight against that are the ones we admire and we really like to see coming up. But it's not just in Zimbabwe. I think around the world we see quite a polarization where objectivity is sometimes lost and people are very subjective, particularly in a political perspective. You look at the United States, for example, a lot of journalists hated Donald Trump simply because they didn't like Donald Trump. It didn't matter what his policies were. They didn't like the Donald. And so that was the problem. And the same with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
People who liked Donald Trump.
We are so polarized, isn't it? You know, every time I talk about how bad things are in journalism, I always want to make an effort to say there's a certain context. I mean, if you look at our country, a lot of things don't work.
Yes.
In banking, there are problems. In the government, there's problems. In hospitals, there's problems. You know, doctors commit fraud, lawyers commit fraud. So we are a broken society. But for me, the focus on journalism is because I think we have a bigger role in providing, in being the conscience of society.
Absolutely.
In leading from the front. And if we are broken, the brokenness of society is going to get worse. Do you agree?
Totally.
Yeah.
I suppose it's natural in an environment where there is that broken status for journalism to be affected. But it would be so great if we could see, as you say, the firebrands in journalism leading the way and making sure that truth is never covered up, that the facts are always known, no matter how bad they are. Going back to what we were saying about saying to the government to do a PR program for them, admit what's wrong. Admit what was done was wrong, admit what is being done is wrong, and address it, genuinely address it. Be seen to have a genuine desire to change things. People will accept that.